Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. It's another one of those days where I have to put aside what I was going to talk about. I actually have two things to talk about. The important one is what you all know by now. The violence, the shameful violence that is occurring as I'm recording this, or it may have subsided a bit by now, but was a little earlier today, Wednesday, inside the Capitol. It's really disgusting. I just want everybody to know I'm going to talk about it more. I understand that that's the main subject. I'm not trying to avoid the subject. If you think I didn't want to start talking about something else, and you'd say, why isn't he talking about this horrible event? But there's just one brief thing I just have to mention. I'll be very brief. But Vernon Jones, I assume many of you know who he is. He is or was a black Democrat in Georgia, in the Georgia legislature, but he has been very vocally supporting Donald Trump, his re-election, Trump's re-election. So he went, and actually it's interesting to note, when he announced that he was going to support Trump, he announced that he was resigning from the Georgia legislature, just expecting that because most black people are Democrats, that he would be pressured to resign. His constituents, to their credit, prevailed on him to stay. They wanted him to stay, which he did. But now what else he has done, just this morning at this rally that preceded this violence that I am going to talk about in a moment, he switched parties. He is now a Republican. So Vernon Jones is a Republican. I hope he will work to help register more just people, but more black voters especially, to vote for the Republican Party. That's where their interests lie. That's where what I believe. I say that as a Jew, who most of my co-religionists are Democrats. You couldn't pay me to be a Democrat, but this is something else. But I just felt that I had to mention it because it was a news item. Now, the real issue is that during this, I listened to the entire speech that Trump gave, and a lot of it was detailing all the evidence that I've mentioned in the past that I have heard and seen of what obviously was fraud in the election, in the presidential election, not the Georgia runoff, but who knows, maybe there's fraud there too. But definitely in the presidential election, and he went through a whole litany of the evidence. So that was the main part. And then he said at one point, because a joint session of Congress was meeting at that moment in the Capitol to start counting electoral votes. As soon as they got to Arizona, a senator and a representative, as is required by the Constitution, objected to the electoral votes from Arizona. So then they were to separate into their separate chambers, the Senate and the House, to debate for 2 hours. So that's what they had done. But then Trump, as part of his speech, and something that really disgusted me also, that I'm going to get to in a moment, but he said as part of the speech that we should all walk down to the Capitol and make our opinions, I'm using his words, make our opinions, make their opinions. I obviously wasn't there, but to go there and march to, well, not even march, just walk to the Capitol, which I took to mean something like when you see these gatherings, these demonstrations in front of the Supreme Court, when there is a hot button issue being decided by, or a case being decided by the Supreme Court. So if you have, let's say, abortion, a case about abortion, you're going to see demonstrators outside the Supreme Court. And actually, I recall at one point, during the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation hearings, it might have been either during the hearings or right after he was confirmed, but you had people, demonstrators, banging on the Supreme Court door to get in, trying to get in. Unfortunately, this very same thing happened at the Capitol. What I wanted to get at was, because I just heard a couple of people on TV say that, well, as always, blame everything on Trump, that Trump incited this violence. And I'm telling you that that is absolutely false. There was nothing in there. These people who are committing this violence, they're hotheads, and they're people that are just angry. They're just sick people. That's what it is, really. They're sick and they're evil. They are not people who got anything from Donald Trump, from what he said in that speech. I heard the whole thing, and the meaning was clear. Just march, which is what most of them did. There are hundreds of thousands of people. I understand a crowd of, or about 100,000 people, and these crazy people burst into the Capitol and they had to be evacuated. And I even understand that somebody was shot inside on the dais, right where in that main hall that you see when you see whenever there's a State of the Union speech. I don't know at this point who shot who, whether it was one of the demonstrators shot somebody or a police officer shot a demonstrator. I don't really know. But the point that I mainly want to get to is that I don't know what they're trying to accomplish except to destroy. They're no better than Antifa, who I've always or often always and often condemned, and the Black Lives Matter thugs. These people are thugs too, and I don't understand. Well, they have to be crazy if their objective is to contest the election, because now this is going to be on the news, and they're going to say over and over, the talking heads are going to say, well, these are people who refuse to accept that Joe Biden won, and that's a separate issue, whether he won. As I said, there is strong evidence that Trump really won, but that is a separate issue. But now these two things are going to get conflated, and it's going to take away the credibility of the people who are honest. And well, it's just like the demonstration, if you remember, in Charlottesville about the Robert E. Lee statue that some people wanted taken down, and Trump saying that there were good people on both sides. Well, there were, and there were bad people on both sides, which the press seems to miss. There were the Antifa thugs on one side, and there were the neo-Nazis on one side, but then you had on one side honest, law-abiding people who thought the statue should stay, and honest, law-abiding people who thought that the statue should be taken down. But the issue got confused because one person committed a murder, ran over somebody with a car, and it happened to be one of the people that wanted the statue to stay. It just destroyed the whole issue. So again, the main thing is to condemn this violence. And I was really, another thing that really disturbed me was you had a couple of talking heads, a couple of people on TV. They were actually apparently some real estate organization, one of these big organizations of real estate people, commercial real estate people, had written a letter to I forget who, the president or the Congress, somebody, to just certify the votes and stop contesting the election. So these were Democrats, and they were saying, first, as I said a moment ago, that the president, Trump, is responsible for this violence at the Capitol, but also that he should have come out and said something. And he did come out. Well, he tweeted out that this is wrong, and then the people should stop what they're doing, these violent people. And he was being criticized by these talking heads for not specifically saying that they should leave. Now, they ignored what he did say. What did he say? He said to the National Guard, get out there and stop the violence. And the vice president also said, and I'm sure it's a sentiment shared by Trump, that all those people, they're going to be arrested and they should be tried to the full extent of the law. Unlike these Antifa thugs and BLM, Black Lives Matter thugs, whom these liberal mayors released, just let them go. So I am hopeful this will not happen this time. I'm confident if Biden becomes president that they will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law for the simple reason that they're Trump supporters. So that's why if they were Democrats, then Biden would be letting them go too. Not a doubt in my mind. But that is, again, a separate issue. But Trump did the right thing. Because does anybody, this is just to make liberals feel good. It's a difference between liberals and conservatives. When something like this happens, or if the Israelis have to attack Iran or attack their atomic weapon program, which they very well have to, because all Biden will do will be to talk about it. He's an empty suit and he's an empty threat. And all Biden would do would say, well, both sides need to calm down or something, some stupid thing like that. But does anybody seriously think that these thugs rioting inside the Capitol, fighting with the police, are stopping to open their cell phones and look for a tweet from Donald Trump? I mean, do they really seriously think that's what is happening, that they would hear anything that Trump would say? No, but they will understand force, and that's what Trump did. He sent out the National Guard. That is what he should do. And these condemnations that we're going to hear, I predict, of Donald Trump on these Sunday talk shows and before and after, it's just not fair. Let's just leave it at that. Trump is doing the right thing. I'm not saying that he shouldn't. He should condemn the violence, but he should do it. Well, he did condemn the violence. He just didn't ask or tell the people to leave. That's what he was criticized for. He was criticized for not saying specifically to these thugs who aren't listening anyways to leave. Sending out the National Guard was the right thing. After that, after the people are arrested, after the area is secured, then he can go on TV and he can give a nice, very concise, strongly worded speech condemning the violence. That is the right way to do it. And I'm just going to leave it there for now, and I'll be back tomorrow with another vlog, and who knows whether I'll get to talk about what I really wanted to talk about, because who knows what's going to happen between today and tomorrow. But I can say right now that I appreciate the time that you spent with me, and you could give me a thumbs up. I wouldn't mind if you would like to give me a thumbs up. If you like this vlog, this video, share with anybody you think would also like it. If you got any comments, put them in the comment section below the video, and you could ask questions, suggest future topics. You could subscribe. I love getting new subscribers. And you could listen to my original music channel. There is a link in the description to that. And you could come back and see me again. I look forward to seeing all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye. Hopefully with better news than what happened today. And that's it. And good news would be that these people got arrested and that they're going to be prosecuted. But most of all, that everybody is safe. And once again, till next time, bye.